Oh man, oh man, oh boy. Oh my god. What is up, everybody? And today, for me, this feels like some type of vindication. Sweet vindication. There is an article going around, which I will link in the description. It's going around the interwebs, and I happened to come across it, and I clicked it, and I couldn't believe what I was reading. I couldn't believe what was happening. Nintendo is finally being honest with us gamers. They have finally come out and admitted that the Wii U probably is not people's first console of choice. That it is perhaps the second console of choice. Now, that is 110% true. From day one, the Wii U really is not a console that would be the first console you go to pick up if you're a hardcore gamer. If you like to play lots and lots of video games, the Wii U should not be your first choice. It has always been the secondary console. But see, that's the funny thing is that Nintendo never said that. And to be fair, they're not supposed to say that. I don't blame them for not saying that at the beginning, because every single company that releases a console, they want you to go buy their console first over the competition. And Nintendo tried their damnness at E3 2012 to get people to jump back on the Nintendo train. And they promised you a bill of goods. They promised you that they were going to get back all this third-party support, that they were going to have the best of both worlds. Remember Reggie, in that sit-down interview with IGN, he basically said, we would like our console to have the best of both worlds. We want you to be able to play the best of third-party alongside all of your favorite Nintendo franchises. And you know what? That sounds like a utopia. That sounds great. It never fucking happened. Never happened. It never came true. For obvious reasons. It's because of Nintendo and the distrust that third-party publishers and developers have with this company over the years and years of issues. So when you look back at history, it was never really going to happen, but they tried to sell you on it anyway, and it suckered some people in. And to be fair, it almost suckered me in. When the Wii U first came out, I was interested. I was like, you know what, maybe this is Nintendo. Maybe they're finally going to get people like me back. Granted, I'm not going to buy it right away, but in due time, maybe I will jump back on the train. And to be fair, when it first started, it had games like WiiU, and it did have third-party games like Mass Effect 3, Darksiders 2, Assassin's Creed 3, etc., etc., it gave you the impression that they were going down that path, and it never happened. 2 years later, as we sit right now, it never happened. So it is funny as hell to see them finally come out and say that the Wii U is not the people's first console of choice. Especially Iwata saying it. You know, the guy who basically constantly says, please understand, please understand. Anytime anybody brings up criticism of Nintendo, you have their fanboys and using that excuse, you have to understand, please understand. No, I understand. I understand completely. I understand the facts, and I understand reality. So, this is funny. This really is. But I continue reading. And then I noticed something else. And I'm sure you can see it on the graphic here. Iwata says he's not satisfied with how the Wii U has been received by consumers. And I suspect he wishes to change this with the Nintendo NX. Now, some of you might be wondering, what is the Nintendo NX? Well, I will tell you what the Nintendo NX is. The Nintendo NX is the code name for Nintendo's newest console. Yes, you heard me right. They're already making a new console. The Wii U is not even 3 years old. It will be 3 years old this November. They're already making a new console. They already have a code name for it. It is in the early stages of development. Oh my god. Here's how I already see this. This is how I picture this happening. Next year, we're going to see this new console get revealed, and it might come out next year or the year after that, and then they're going to completely abandon the Wii U entirely. Now, some of you are probably wondering, well, no, that's not true. They could still support the Wii U. Well, look at it this way. If the new Zelda game and a new Star Fox game, they are both rumored and assumed to come out this year. If these two games end up coming out this year, what the hell else does Nintendo have in their bullet bag, so to speak? Because they've already fired off some of their best shots already. We already have a Smash Brothers. We already have a Donkey Kong game. We already have not one, but 2 Mario games. What the hell else does Nintendo have in their arsenal that they haven't fired yet? I mean, of course, there are plenty of Nintendo franchises that Nintendo can dig up and use, but do you really see them doing that? Because I don't. Because they could have already made some of these games already. Like, where's this next Metroid game? Metroid's been one of their most popular franchises for so long. Where's a new Metroid game? I mean, I guess we could have one, but I'd like to see it. It's been quite a while. How about a new F-Zero, as an example? You know, just saying. Just saying. So, if Zelda and Star Fox comes out this year, and yes, I say if, because games can get delayed, as we have seen several times. Several big-name games have been delayed. Nintendo is no exception to the rule of their games getting delayed. Hell, Zelda games have been delayed. When Majora's Mask first came out, it was delayed. And I clearly remember the Zelda Twilight Princess delay. It was originally supposed to come out in the summer of 2005. And I had it reserved in the beginning of August of that year. And it didn't come out until November of 2006 with the launch of the Nintendo Wii. So I had that damn thing on reserve for a year and a half. So, guess what? These two games that very little gameplay has been shown of, that they don't have concrete release dates that people are pinning their hopes on for the Wii U, they could potentially get delayed. But if they don't get delayed, then what else does Nintendo really have at this point for the Wii U? I mean, I personally don't see them digging up old franchises, so that's why I see this new console coming out very, very soon. And isn't that sad? It is so sad that the Wii U, and it's like I said, it's not even that old, and they're already moving on. I mean, I don't see Sony and Microsoft doing this with the Xbox One or the PS4 anytime soon. I'm just saying. And another thing I'd like to point out real quick before I end this video is that if you look down at the bottom of this screen grab here, you have the CEO of games publisher Ubisoft basically saying the challenge for Nintendo now is to make sure their hardware continues to be convincing enough for people to buy. Yes, I completely agree. He is confident the company can do that. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Because Ubisoft was one of the only third-party publishers to really support Nintendo, and Nintendo fanboys have completely bashed Ubisoft to no end because their games are quote-unquote gimped on the Wii U, because, the thought has never crossed their mind that, maybe because Nintendo's not that powerful hardware has basically, the Ubisoft has had to like drop some things from those games because of Nintendo's less than powerful hardware. Has that thought ever crossed these people's minds? I guess not. So it's kind of funny how Ubisoft, apparently, according to this person here, still supports Nintendo. So it's funny. It's really funny. So anyway, that's about it. Please let me know what you think. To me, this seems like some type of sweet vindication for the people who have been critical of Nintendo, and rightly so a lot of times in my opinion. It's funny to see them finally come out and finally for once be honest with us. So, anyway, I will talk to you all later. Have a good one.